So next week we start earlier?
Yes. Yep.
I'm gonna say it 50 million times.
Okay. I lie, 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 lie. I lie, 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 lie. I lie, 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 lie. I lie, 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 lie.
No audio.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav
Audio is not going
b'mitzvotav V'tzivanu v'tzivanu lehadlik ner V'tzivanu v'tzivanu lehadlik ner V'tzivanu v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat La 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 la
There's no audio.
Shabbat Shalom, welcome.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hanukkah ended this week, and we had our last night, Wednesday night, and Thursday was our last day. There was an ancient disagreement between the sages. How are you supposed to light the Hanukkah candles? Do you begin with 1 and go to 8, or begin with 8 and go down to 1? So we obviously follow Hillel, beginning of 1, going to 8, which is an optimistic understanding of the world. We go up in light, but it also means we go from 8 candles to nothing. We go from a full blazing menorah, and the next day, it's no more candles, no more light, no more of the spirit of Hanukkah. But we go into Shabbat, we go into a new year, we bring some of that blessing with us. We turn to Shalom Aleichem, page 5.
Shalom Aleichem,
Malachei Yasharem, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech.
The audio is not good.
Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Boachem Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei
Your audio is breaking up.
Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Baruch Hu Nile Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon
Your audio is breaking up. I can't hear you.
Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shalom
Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch.
We turn to page 11. We have the Psalms for Shabbat. Lechu neranena l'Adonai נריע לצור אישנו, נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו, כי הגדול אדוני. ארבעים שנה אקוד בדור, ואומרם טועה לבבהם, והם לא ידעו דרכי, אשר נשבעתי ויפי מבואון אל מנוחתי. La 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 la.
Page 13.
We're on page 13.
Shiru l'Adonai
Shir Chadash, Shiru
l'Adonai
kol haaretz,
Shiru l'Adonai
Baruch
Shemo Asu miyom Yeshuato Zapru v'goyim
Your audio is breaking up. I can't hear you.
B'chol ha'amim nifleotav
Ki gadol
Adonai u'me'ulam me'od no'ahu al kol Elohim ki kol Elohei ha'amim elim Adonai shamayim asa ve'adam לפניו עוז ותפארת במקדשו עבור אדוני משפחות עמים עבור אדוני כבוד ועוז עבור אדוני כבוד שמו שאו מנהר ובואו
There's no audio.
לפני אדוני קיווה קיבו לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, בימים באמונתו. On page 15. אדוני מלך תגל הארץ, ישמחו עם רבים.
Turn to the left-hand side of page 15 for a responsive reading. Adonai reigns, let the earth be glad, and many distant lands rejoice.
Clouds and thick darkness surround the divine. Righteousness and justice secure God's throne. Fire goes before God, consuming besiegers round about.
Flashes of lightning illumine the land, the earth watches and trembles, mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the Master of all the earth.
The heavens tell of God's righteousness, and their own nations see God's glory. Light is sown for the righteous, and joy for the upright. Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous people, and thank God as you pronounce the divine holy name. Or zaru al tzaddik, uleishrei lev simcha, simchu tzaddikim b'Adonai, v'yodu lezecher kodshot. Mizmor on page 17. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, כי נפלאות עשה, הושיע לו ימינו, וזרוע קודשו, הודיע אדוני ישועתו, לעיני הגויים גילה צדקתו, זכר חסדו ואמונתו לבית ישראל, ראו כל אפסי הארץ את ישועת אלוהינו, הביאו לאדוני כל הארץ, פיצו ורננו וזמרו, זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וכל זמרת, בחצוצרות וכל שופר, הביאו
Your audio is breaking up. I can't hear you.
ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושבה, נהרות ימחאו כף, יחד ערים ירננו, לפני אדוני קיבה, לשפוט הארץ, לשפוט אבל בצדק, בימים במישרים, אדוני מלך ירגזו עמים, יושב קרובים תנות הארץ. אדוני בציון. שרוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו בהר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו.
Please rise, we turn to page 21. Acclaim Adonai, children of the divine. The voice of Adonai thunders over the waters, shattering the cedars, making the trees dance like calves, also blessing his people with peace. We're on page 21.
מזמור לדוד, אבו לאדוני בן אלים, אבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, אבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני ביד הקודש, כל אדוני על המים אל הכבוד ירים, אדוני על מים, מים רבים, כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בידיו, כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני את עזי הלבנון, וירקידם כמו עגל לבנון, וציון גמור עינימים. כל אדוני עולה יבותי, כל אדוני ירים ממר, יחיל אדוני ממר קדש, כל אדוני חולל איילות, ויחס לו ייתן אדוני יבורך עמו ושלום.
The sound is breaking up. Can't hear you.
Please be seated. We turn to Lecha Dodi, page 23.
Lecha Dodi likra kala pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala pnei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad. Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad. L'shem u'letiferet v'litehila. Lecha dodi likra kala. Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mikor rabacha me'od mikedem nesucha sov ma'aseh v'machshava techila. Likra kala pnei Shabbat nikabela. Mikdash melech melucha kumitzei mitoch afecharav lach shevet v'emek habacha v'hu yachamol alaychem lecha dodi kala pnei Shabbat nikabela. Itna'arim v'yafarku milivshi bigdei tifartecha mi'al yad ben Yishai beit halach v'karva el nafshi ge'ala. Lecha dodi likra kala pnei Shabbat nikabela. Itoreri kivaore kumi uri shedaveri kevod Adonai alaych nigla. Lecha dodi likra kala pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lo tevoshi v'lo tekalmi ma tishtochaki u'matemi b'chechesu aniyei ha'amim v'nivneta iralti la. Lecha dodi likra kala pnei Shabbat nikabela. We continue at the bottom of page 25. We rise, face the entrance to greet the bride Shabbat. Foyer v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabela. Please remain standing. We turn east for our Baruch Hu. We are on page 39a. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMivorach
Baruch Adonai Vorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Mevorach Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We turn to a responsive reading on the far left column of page 39a. Beloved are you, eternal God, by whose design the evening falls, by whose command dimensions open up and eons pass away and stars spin in their orbits.
You set the rhythms of day and night.
The alteration of light and darkness sings your creating word.
In rising sun and in spreading dusk, creator of all, you are made manifest.
Eternal, everlasting God, may we always be aware of your dominion.
Beloved are you, Adonai, for this hour of nightfall.
Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzivao shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai,
Shemo.
Hamari v'ravim, Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, Amechavta ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, Chukim u'mishpatim, otahanu limadeta, al kein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shochveinu v'kumeinu, nasiya b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובמגע יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני
ושמו.
Ohev Amo Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta
et Adonai Elohecha,
v'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha, ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ושוכבך וקומך, וקשתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. והיה עם שמוע. Impress these words of mine upon your heart and upon your soul. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a symbol above your eyes. Teach them to your children by speaking of them when you sit in your home, when you walk on your way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your home and upon your gate. Vayomer Adonai Moshe Leimu. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Turn to page 43b for a responsive reading. You proclaimed the covenant on the seventh day.
You declared it and decreed it. We listened and heard it.
You loved this day. We inherited, delighting in its remembrance.
And began its command with the word, remember, Zachor.
From the time you bestowed it, joy filled the hearts of Yeshurun, the people you redeemed.
Securing the cause of
Righteousness.
You exalted Shabbat as a sign between us forever. In 6 days your world was formed. On the seventh day you rested.
And on this day, Israel, your people rest.
To honor your name, they sing songs of praise to the one deserving of praise.
Who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty, page 44. Yai bai bai bim bim bam, yaba bai bai bim bam. Mihi chamocha bailim Adonai. Mihi kamocha nedar bakodesh. Nurati lo tosefele. Nurati lo tosefele. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Zeli zeli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. V'nemar kifada Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'amideinu mageinu l'chayim. U'faros aleinu sukat shalom. Ushmor tzitenu uvoenu l'chaim u'shalom ata v'yad olam. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'amideinu makeinu l'chaim. V'ros aleinu sukat shalomecha, baruch atah Adonai, haporeh sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim, v'sham le'u b'nei Yisrael, et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמה דברה כרותי, וימליך מלכותי, וחייכו ויומכו, וחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם עולם לעלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה
בריחו
לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ושבחתה ונחמתה ולאמירן בעלמא אמרו אמן.
Our silent Amidah for Friday nights begins on page 47. We continue through to page 52. קידשת את יום השביעי לשמך, תכלי מעשה שבת.
Say shalom, shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'imeu.
Please remain standing for the Kiddush, page 55.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uveratzon hinchilanu zikaron dema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu acharta yodanu kidashta migomim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yava uv'ratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh
Shabbat. Please be seated. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
With one's children in the world, one tends to know them so well that one can just look at their faces and know immediately what state of mind they're in. We look at them, we know if they're happy, we know if they're not doing so well, and we know if they're open or not to us, whether there's that flow of relationship, of love, or their minds are somewhere else. And when our children are flowing with us, there's this beautiful connection we have with them. Every minute is wonderful. But then sometimes it's the other way. At the age of my children, coming back from school or spending time with certain friends, and they come back and their faces are closed, they're not open with us. And we know they don't want to communicate or listen to their parents at that moment. And we do what we can. And really, it's not only with children, but it's the same with all of our relationships, with all human beings that we have a connection to. And it's what Martin Buber, the philosopher, calls I-it relationships and I-thou relationships. And an I-it relationship is really like with an object. We may communicate them, we may see them, but it's just in passing. We're not really open to them. But I-thou relationships is when there's a real relationship and there's a nurturing quality to it. We're open, we're flowing with them. There's love, there's connection, a real bond. And so Buber says the more we're in I-thou relationships with others, the more our life feels meaningful. And we can be, he says, not only with human beings, but with the whole world around us, with animals, with objects, with God, obviously. And the more fulfilled we feel in our lives. And the more we're in I-thou with a person, the stronger that bond is, and the deeper it becomes in our lives. So the story of Joseph over these weeks of the Torah really illustrates this type of understanding of what a relationship is very well. Because when Joseph's brothers come to see him, and he's a powerful Egyptian lord, he hides his face from them, a symbol for him refusing to open himself up to them. He scolds them. They don't recognize him. They think he's an Egyptian lord. And they're bewildered by what's happened. They can't understand. He's just playing games with them and not being straightforward with them. And it goes on for weeks, and it just causes such turmoil and tension until last week he tries to frame them by putting a golden goblet in one of their bags and accuses them of stealing. And all they see is that anger and that strange behavior from this Egyptian lord. Then there's a moment where suddenly one of the brothers says, I can't stand this anymore. And so he approaches the Egyptian lord, and he goes with it as if wanting that I-thou relationship. He's just true to himself. He tries to push forward and destroy all the barriers between them with such sincerity and such love that Joseph can't hide his face anymore. And the Torah says he tells all the people around him to run away, and he just starts weeping. And then he's a changed man, and suddenly he's no longer in that I-it relationship, he's in the I-thou. And suddenly he's open to his brothers, and he says, I forgive you for everything you did to me, for throwing me in the pit. He opens himself fully to them. He takes them near him. They have a resolution to all their troubles. And there's a new beginning, right? And he opens himself to them, and it transforms the very fabric of their lives. And the way the Torah sees it, really, it's going back. How does the book of Genesis begin after the fall from the garden? Am I my brother's keeper? Right, what Cain says about Abel. But here it's the opposite. I am my brother's keeper. I care. I'm in that I-thou relationship. And it comes from responding to that sincerity. Judah has that sincerity. He wants it, and Joseph can't resist it. And so the Torah's message is that unlike children, we don't think about it and it just happens. That we adults have that choice how we live our lives. So we can be in those I-it relationships, or we can be in those I-thou relationships. It's a choice we make in our lives, how open we are to people around us. And there's moments of opportunity where we can change some of those I-it relationships into I-thou if we're willing to take them. And it speaks to the power of those relationships that transform not only our own lives with goodness, with fulfillment, with that love that comes from them, it also makes God turn his face towards us, and also brings blessing to the whole world. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Please rise for Aleinu, page 56.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אינו, 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 אינו. la 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 la. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו
Please be seated. We turn to the Mourner's Kaddish. We're on page 58. This week we are observing the following yard sites: David Arkin, Morris Barron, Esther Benditson, Abe Hona Besser, Albert Blumenfield, Florence Brindell, Harold Brown, Emma Clark, Ruthie Cranen, Mary Crowley, Jenny Dolnick, Fanny Flower, Ben Friedland, Ruth Geringer, Mary Sylvia Goldman, Barney Goldstein, Abraham Galinkin, Rose Grant, Morris Goral, Harry Gotensky, Arnold Havers, Fanny Hyman, Julia Kalis, Muriel M. Kane, Jeff Kaplan, Celia Kotlicki, Maurice Levin, Ben Mednick, Theodore Myers, Ida Nathan, Michael M. Newman, Alan Paretsky, Edward Rosenthal, Ray Rohr, Ann Siegel, Molly Spink, Norman Stone. If you're observing a yard site or mourning, please rise and join me in the words of the Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Ve'alma divra kirute v'yamlich machute v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'gala v'zman kari v'imu. Amen.
Amen.
Yehei
Yehei
Shmei Rabba
mevarach le'olam olomei almaya.
Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal Shmei dekudesha
Brichu.
Ne'ela mikol berchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'emu. Amen. Yehei shlam rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'akol Yisrael v'emu. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imomav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'akol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Few short announcements this evening. Services tomorrow at 10 a.m. Beginning next week, our Friday night services will be at 5:30 p.m. instead of 6:30 p.m. Once a month, we'll be having a dinner after services with programming. For more information about all of our programs, please see our website. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Adon Olam on page 211. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra V'nasa V'cherzo Kol Hazai Melech Shemo Nikra V'yacharei Kiglot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Ove Ve'hu Yeh B'tifara Ve'hu Echad Ve'ein Sheni Le'amshir Lo Le'amira Ve'li Reshit Ve'li Tachlit Ve'lo Ha'oz Ve'ha'misra Ve'hu Eli Ve'chai Go'ali Ve'tzur Chevli Ve'tzara Ve'hu Nisi U'manosli Menakosi B'yom Ekra Ve'yado Afkid Ruchi Ve'et Yishan Ve'ayira Ve'imruchi Gevi'ati Adonai Li Ve'lo Ira.
Please rise for the concluding blessing. Kadosh Baruch Hu, Holy One, blessed be He. As we conclude Chag HaUrim, the holiday of lights, Chanukah, may the light of Chanukah the light of truth, the light of justice, the light of goodness, come forward with us to our life to bring blessing to us and to the world, and let us say Amen.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May Adonai protect you and bless you.
Ya'ir Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May Adonai's countenance shine upon you. May Adonai bestow kindness upon you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May Adonai's countenance be lifted towards you. May Adonai grant you peace. Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Good night, everyone at home.
Good night.
Yeah, I took our, 15 years ago. Yep. It was fun. It was amazing.
Regular or decaf?